This is Mrs. Gerhardt, and today I'm going to show you how to use underglaze. So underglaze is a type of glaze that you can use with your clay pieces, and it looks kind of like watercolor. There are 3 different sets, so you want to make sure that you're looking for those 3 different sets and using the colors that you want. So I do have an example in my glaze tiles that shows all the different colors that are found in those different sets, and I want to show you another example. This is an example of a piece that uses the underglazes, kind of like watercolor, where you can really layer the lighter colors underneath and then darker colors on top and get a little bit more detail with the underglaze. So the first thing that I went ahead and did was I got a little bit of water into the colors that I'm planning on using. Just like watercolors, you have to get the color wet in order to make it work. And then I need to decide what kind of brush I need to use to start to paint into some of those areas. So I'm going to start in a larger area. So I'm going to start to use a bigger brush. And just like watercolors, if I use a little bit more water, it's a little bit more see-through. If I use a little bit less water, it's a little bit less see-through. And I can also layer more than one layer of the underglaze to make it a little bit more solid overall. But I want to be careful where I'm placing the paintbrush because I can't really get it back up off of the clay piece. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add some of those details first. And again, as I said before, I can layer the colors. So for example, I have the green there. I can go back and I can start to add with a smaller brush. I can add very, very small details on top of those colors. So I might add a little bit of black, and I'm going into the dot that I had already added onto my piece. And then I'm also going to add a little bit of a line design onto this piece. Now, maybe I'm going to add something in the background. Maybe I'm going to just leave it white like the clay is. Once you're done painting anything that you want to with the underglazes, here's another example where I started to use the underglaze. Then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to get the bottle that says clear transparent, and it will also say that on the side. Make sure that it's ready to use, and then I'm going to use that clear transparent and I'm going to paint it over top. Now you're probably thinking this looks pink, or I do have some that also look bluish green in color, and you're covering the colors that you've already added on there. But don't worry, when it goes into the kiln, it will change colors. And some of the glazes do change colors. Clear is one of those that changes color, and it will appear clear once it comes back out of the kiln. This is what's going to make your underglazes shiny when they come out of the kiln. Otherwise, they will just be that dull color that you originally see when you paint it on. Just like we did before, you're going to wash any of your brushes once you're all finished. Then after you've washed your brushes, you're going to close any glaze containers that you've used and return them. And then the very last thing that you're going to do is you're going to wet your paper towel over at the sink, and you're going to flip over your piece, and you're just going to scrub along the bottom. You want to scrub pretty hard against that bottom to make sure that no glaze is stuck to the bottom of your piece, because when we put the glaze pieces into the kiln, when it heats up, it gets sticky, and it would stick to the kiln shelf if it is not properly wiped off.